talk a little Auburn football. We got coaches on the road. We got Jeffrey Lee sitting with us. And Jeff, I want to know where the coaches are at. But first, we got to talk about a tweet that I saw last night from number 1 overall recruit, Zion Elely. He's committed to Maryland. He recently came out and said, I'm shutting my recruitment down. He had 2 or 3 official visits. He took those off his calendar. But last night, he's tweeting War Eagle. I mean, what's up with that?
Well, at first I thought maybe Boston College was making a push. But, that was all about Auburn and the relationships that he's built with Auburn. And I know several coaches went up to Maryland to see him, to see Jaira Edwards, to see Wayne Henry. Auburn's made a huge presence there at St. Francis Academy, led by DJ Durkin. Mm-hmm. And DJ Durkin was up there. Rock Bellantoni was up there. Vontrell King Williams. They've had they've had a very big footprint up there with St. Francis Academy. And I know Zion, he locked it down or he ended his recruitment. I never fell for that. I don't know that Auburn never expected him to visit. I think Auburn has always expected him to hold on to that official visit, and last night's tweet kind of solidified that.
Yeah, I thought so. Like you said, DJ Durkin has a lot of ties to that DMV area. He's not going to let Zion Elely go down without a fight. So we see him tweet about, he tweets an Eagle last night. When do you think that official visit will take place?
Oh, let me see. I had him. I think it's going to be in – because I never took it off, Josh. I always thought he would. And he right now he's slated to come June the 13th. So next month, maybe a little more than a month away. I expect him to fully, fulfill that visit and see you next month back on the plains.
All right, so we'll see. I mean, I don't know if there's any other teams in his recruitment now that he's shut it down, right. But we know Auburn's still there despite the shutdown. Auburn still heavily involved. All right. Coach has been on the road. Who do you think, this is the spring eval period. We got coaches across the country hitting the trail to go see players in person. There's a lot of spring practices going on at high schools as well. So who do you think the Auburn coaches are going to focus on during the eval period?
They're going to start at the top. I mean, just like everybody else would. They're going to start at the top. They're going to hit their top targets on offense and defense, because once this official visit season kicks off in a couple of weeks, right. It's going to be busy. Auburn has, I think, 30 right now we have confirmed that are planning, tentatively at least, to visit Auburn in the month of May. And that includes May 16th with, I think we have 14 guys coming in that weekend on the list. When I say we, I mean Auburn Live on 3. We've confirmed 14 for that weekend. May 30th also is going to be a big weekend. I think 16 are confirmed for that weekend. So you're looking at 30 guys coming in over the next, 3 or 4 weeks. Mm-hmm. So I think they're starting at the top. They're hitting their biggest needs. I know Jake Thornton has been very, very busy on the recruiting trail. He's hit several of his top offensive line targets. Vontrell King Williams has been all over the defensive line with in-state guys, with out-of-area guys. They've gone out as far as Nevada and California visiting some of these guys. I know Ben Agamoa has been all over tight ends in Iowa and in, I think, J.C. Anderson. Evan Jacobson, he's been to both of those guys. Yeah. I think that was his first 2 visits. So they went national when it's coming to these eval guys. These guys are also planning on coming to Auburn. So they're almost starting out and working their way back in.
Mm-hmm. How are you feeling just generally about Auburn recruiting? Because we're about to hit, like you said, visit season. That's where the rubber meets the road for what Auburn's doing. We're going to find out a lot about this class, but just heading into the summer months, how do you feel about Auburn recruiting? What are the biggest needs still left to fill?
I think Auburn is being patient, Josh, believe it or not. And I think they've got a lot to prove this fall. I think the past 2 seasons, Auburn has sold future and potential and look what we're going to be. And I think this is the first year that Auburn can actually meet some of those expectations. I think Auburn could have a big recruiting class come December if they do what they're supposed to do on the field. And I think everybody is expecting the floor for the wins to be 7. And I'm going to be honest with you, Josh, I think that's where I'm at right now.
Okay.
But I think anything less than 8 is going to be a disappointment for a lot of people, including Auburn. Now, I've talked to coaches off the record, and they think 9 to 10 wins very doable this fall. So if they could pull that off, there's no telling how they could finish in this recruiting class. So I don't think they're pushing or forcing things right now to take maybe a tier 2 guy before they can find out if they can get that tier 1.
Yeah, I get. I I get that sense. Maybe I'm seeing it differently, but I felt like in the first 2 years, Auburn was just take the best available. Whatever the best available is, we're going to stack up. If it means taking 4 or 5 wideouts, we're taking 4 or 5 wideouts, whatever. Sure. But now I do feel like they're being a little bit more patient, a little bit more pointed, maybe trying to dial in and fill those needs that they must fill at the high school level.
Sure.
You get that sense?
Sure. Absolutely. They're not going to pass on a guy that they think can help them. They're not going to pass on a tier 1B guy in hopes that they can land the tier 1A guy. I do know that they have held off on taking a couple of commitments. They could have at least 2 or 3 more commitments than they do right now if they wanted. And they have decided to hold off on pushing for those guys. I know at least 2 on the offensive side of the ball they could have taken commitments from and have held off to see if they can get a tier 1A guy.
All right, Auburn fans, talk to Jeffrey Lee of Auburn Live. Talk to us about who do you guys think, as we head into summer, is the most important target still left on the board? Let us know.